I don't think you can say enough about just his ability to digest the game plan. He's kept himself in good shape. I know he had the back thing. To be able to come in on such short notice with such short practice time and to play the way that he did it was a big boost to our team for sure.
Rams coach Sean McVay after Sunday's huge win over the Atlanta Falcons and the debut of Jalen Ramsey. Peter, you were down in Atlanta. You talked with people from the Rams before the game. You talked to Eric Weddle after the game. Give me the sense of what you learned talking to folks about the integration of Jalen Ramsey to a defense that went to the Super Bowl last year.
Well, a couple of things, Mike. I mean, you expect everybody in the locker room and the coach to say great things about Ramsey. You're obviously happy you got him, and he's going to be a big, big piece on this team the rest of the way. No denying any of that. His first game was not particularly good. He gave up 4 catches to Julio Jones for 69 yards. And he talked a lot. He screamed at Julio Jones a lot. But I think he was a little bit rusty, quite frankly, for not having played for the last 3 weeks. He made that one good play in forcing the fumble. But I think the Rams right now, they're pretty convinced at this point that he is going to be able to adjust to the kind of combo platter of zone and man he's going to be asked to play. He started the game playing dime, and he only played 36 snaps, but that was a little bit more than at the start of the game they expected him to play. And I think because it was going so well in the game itself, they said, let's integrate him into other parts of the defense. So I think overall they were happy in getting him, obviously, and how he played, he was okay. But they certainly expect him to play better, especially against some of the great receivers on their schedule.
Well, it still was phenomenal. I mean, at least for my money, for what he did. I mean, he is going to bring an attitude to that defense. We know they're going to be able to be creative around him because of the different skills you mentioned, Peter. He's great at zone. He's awesome at man. I mean, it's him or Stephon Gilmore for the best corner in football, and Jalen Ramsey's just starting the prime of his career. But, even though, it wasn't his best game, every team in football will sign up for 4 for 63 yards with a corner that's on the island against Julio Jones. That's what I'm amazed by. And I know it wasn't his best, but man, to not play in 3 weeks and then to be able to go out there and just go, let me guard one of the freakiest athletes we've seen on the history of the planet here, and I'll be okay and be able to hold my own. I think it just speaks to the talent level the guy does have. And it's really cool, the Rams, what they got. Wade Phillips has got some toys as far as him and Aaron Donald that he can really play with and stress offenses out with.
Hey, Peter, how surprised were you that the Rams didn't sign him to an extension on the way through the door? That's a lot to give up. It gives him a lot of leverage. I saw a report over the weekend that the Rams extracted a promise from Ramsey that he won't hold out next year. Well, that's worthless and unenforceable. I would have preferred getting a deal done now because it's going to be more expensive later, and he's going to be able to sit back and say, nope, that's not good enough. Give me more.
Jalen Ramsey was not going to do that. The only way you are going to be able to trade for Jalen Ramsey is to take his contract as is, as you say, Mike, with a tacit, unenforceable agreement that he's not going to hold out next year. In fact, I will be shocked if he holds out next year. And I believe he is determined to play that last year of his contract. The reason I'd be shocked is because it's been pretty common knowledge that if you trade for Jalen Ramsey, he wanted out of Jacksonville so bad that he basically will sign somewhere and stay there for a year and a half. And Mike, I think if somehow, some way he holds out next July and August, I think it's going to have a significantly deleterious effect on his market value, because now he basically went on strike against the Jacksonville Jaguars, and then he totally misled a team willing to throw him the safety net and to get him out of Jacksonville, knowing that what other place in the NFL that's willing to pay as much compensation would a player rather go to than Los Angeles, particularly Los Angeles in year one of one of the best stadiums that's ever been built on planet Earth? So
I disagree with all of that. I disagree with Peter. I got to throw the challenge flag. I disagree with all of that. First of all, it's 13.3% state income tax in California. And secondly, the guy's already faked a back injury for 3 weeks. Holding out in July and August is nothing compared to that. And Aaron Donald did it for 2 straight years in order to get his market value deal. That's the thing with the Rams.
But Aaron Donald did not go on strike and miss games. Okay? Aaron Donald, he held out, but he didn't report, play, and then miss games when he wasn't hurt. You know, there's a big difference between what Aaron Donald did and what Jalen Ramsey did.
As long as he's still the best corner in the game, there's going to be a market for Jalen Ramsey, and someone's going to be happy to pay him, no matter whether he holds out next year or not, no matter whether he fakes an injury or not.
You're both wasting your breath. They're going to pay him. They'll be there. They're going to pay him.
All right, we have decided to continue the discussion we were having about the Jalen Ramsey contract possibility with the Rams or with someone else. Peter, I think it was in your court to take issue with my belief that none of this is going to matter, that he's eventually going to get top dollar from someone, even if he holds out next year.
Mike, here's the reason why Jalen Ramsey absolutely unequivocally would not have signed an extension right now. It makes no financial sense to do so for him. First of all, the highest paid corners in the game right now are in the, on average, $15 million a year range. Okay, what do you suppose is going to happen 2 years from now when the salary cap is, and let's just estimate it, is $25 million a year more, and you play up to your level of capability? I mean, if you were to sign an extension right now, let's say, and blow past everybody, you know, Xavier Howard and I think Josh Norman, you blow by those guys and you're making 17 or even 18 million a year. I mean, my biggest question is, other than just the insurance of having the guaranteed money and the contract done, if you have faith in yourself, why wouldn't you choose to be a free agent potentially? And why wouldn't you do so at a time when there's a new collective bargaining agreement that could have this significant part to it? Who's to say that the next CBA absolutely is going to have the franchise tag?
It will. It will. It definitely. I guarantee you. I'll bet you everything I own that the franchise tag will be in the next CBA.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Even if the franchise tag is in the new CBA, there's going to be great advantages to players who are going to be free agents signing in 2021. Okay, because there's going to be a burst of new money. And also the Rams it's going to be incumbent on the Rams that you've got to keep this guy. So for him not to hold out in the new stadium and all that other stuff, he's going to be looking at, in my opinion, by signing in 2021, an average of $20 million a year. There's no way he'd get that now.
Well, but they still will have the franchise tag available. I mean, I'm looking at it from the standpoint of if the Rams don't pay him before next year, because I think he wants to get a contract before next year, I don't buy the idea that holding out is going to hurt his value down the road. Guys hold out all the time in an effort to get a better contract. So, and again, Chris's point is none of it matters because the Rams are going to eventually pay him anyway.
Yes. Good work, guys. Good segment. You guys keep going. I'm
Take the segment off.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.